Hello, Frog fans. Welcome to Postgame Beers podcast, brought to you by our good friends over at Hell's Half Acre Stadium Goods. We're going to hear more about that a little bit later on, but I'm looking forward to buying some of their frog ball stuff already because they got some sweet stuff, including a pretty awesome koozie. We are the Lupton Drinking Club. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us live. If you're here tonight, we appreciate a couple of the folks already chiming in the chat. We are live on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, if you will, to Lupton Drinking Club on YouTube. We're also on everything else, as you guys know, Lupton Beers on Twitter, Instagram. The Talk, we'll put one of those up every 6 months or so. So subscribe to that as well. I'm your host, Kyle Malloy at YellMK on Twitter, joined by my co-host, Jacob Sailors at JD Sailors. We've got our producer, Crazy Ray Cartwright. We've got the Sultan of Stat, Martin Guerrero. And of course, the horse meme god himself, Garrett Evans. But Jacob, we're a little bit late tonight. And I've heard dozens of complaints already in the chat from our audience about why we started so late. So can you take a second to describe your tardiness?
Yeah, first of all, sorry about the late start, guys. Thanks for bearing with me. Second of all, when did Dos Equis stop being twist-offs? Am I crazy? This thing's just – yeah, it's just circling around on top. I can't get my beer open, so I don't know if we can start. No, all right. So here's what happened. So last night yesterday afternoon, my brother wanted to do like a Super Sports Sunday up at my dad's place in Pottsboro, Texas, right? Because we had, the Rangers game followed by the Cowboys game. One of those games was good, but regardless, my brother thought it'd be fun if we all got together and watched the games and, took the kids, my nieces and nephews fishing beforehand and all that good stuff. So I'm coming home from Pottsboro, Texas after the Cowboy game. And I'm in the middle lane. I have two cars surrounding me, one to my left, one to my right. And in the road, it's probably about 10 yards away by the time I see it, is this large piece of metal debris. And I said, looks like it's time to prepare for impact because it's pretty much my only choice. So I just hope for the best. I slam into it, and immediately my tire is shredded. So I'm 40 miles from my dad's place, 40 miles from my apartment, like dead square in the middle of the drive. And so I hobble over to the Buc-ee's in Melissa off 75. And so I go to change my tire. I get the tire changed. And the spare tire is flat.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So at this point, I didn't really know what to do except leave my car there in the Buc-ee's parking lot overnight. And so I took an Uber home, worked from home today because I didn't feel like taking the train to work. But
hold on, Jacob, you couldn't air up the tire at Buc-ee's?
Okay, good. Yes, good question. I did try that. It was not taking in any air. I put the little nozzle into the little tube thing and nothing. It was just dead flat. So I was out of ideas. I said, this is a tomorrow problem. Well, God bless Tiffany because she was off today. I met up with her and she drove me up to, I left my apartment. I put my wallet and my keys in my bag, my computer bag, because I wanted to work, kind of on the way and stuff because it was in the middle of the afternoon. But she drove me up to the Buc-ee's and my plan was to drive like on the hobbled tire 5 miles south to the discount tire. So we get up there and I'm like, all right, yeah, just turn your flashes on, follow behind me. I'm going to be driving pretty slow. Reach in my bag, no keys.
Lovely.
No keys. 80 miles from my apartment, no keys. So, my driver was not too pleased at this part of the story. So, but she drives me back. We're approaching rush hour traffic at this point. Get back to my apartment, and keys aren't in my apartment. We eventually ended up down at the leasing office, and we asked, did anybody turn in some keys? And
were they in a bathroom stall?
No, the keys they fell out of my bag at some point, like coming down the stairs or something, because they had them in the apartment, the leasing office. It's like, okay, well, this absolutely sucks. We're now like 2 hours into this trip and we've gone backwards. Now we have to go back from my apartment way up back to Melissa Now it's like rush hour. So we're sitting on the tollway, dead traffic. Yeah, we finally get up there, and it's like 6:30 at this point. We started this thing at like 2:30. So we're now like 4 hours into this journey.
Did you consider putting one of those fake cop sirens on top of your car and say, I got a pod, let's go?
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. At this point, I wasn't even like starting to consider that I would be late for the podcast because I left my apartment originally at like 2:30, 3 o'clock. I thought that'd be plenty of time. Well, yeah. So I get to my car. I start the journey, and it's just, dude, have you ever driven without like on a flat tire? It's the most nerve-wracking thing you can do.
Yeah.
So I'm just like hobbling along. I'm going about 10 to 15 miles an hour down the access road. And I'm looking at the map, and they're like, oh, yeah, your ETA is like 2 minutes. It took me like 20 minutes to go like 4.5 miles down the road. And the farther I went, the more that car was hobbling because the rim was bending. So I was starting to drive like I was in a car, like a Canadian South Park car with like square tires. So finally dropped the car off, got in there 5 minutes before close. So I was able to give them the rundown, drop the key off and everything. So my car is now up in McKinney, Texas. And God bless Tiffany for driving we could have drove pretty much to Austin with all the miles we put in our car today.
Happy Monday, Jacob.
Dude, the worst day. Peak stress levels. Couldn't sleep last night, just knowing I was going to have to deal with this today. And then I just made it worse by letting the keys fall out of my computer bag. Just a total disaster of a day. So, yes, that is my way of taking another 15 minutes of the podcast to say sorry for being late.
Well, you seem about as prepared as TCU football was to play football.
Oh, segue!
That's a transition right there.
Segue.
We are truly professionals.
Anyway, well, that's my story. What do you think?
Since she's an Arkansas fan, you might have to call the Hogs as a tribute to.
I don't know if she wants me calling the Hogs right now. She was a good trooper about it, but you can understand the frustration.
You got to go to AutoZone and get one of them guns that inflate your tires.
Yeah, I don't think there was any saving this tire. There's no telling how old it is or what it's been through in the past. Because
hopefully the rim's not totally effed beyond redemption.
Well, so that's the thing. I left the spare on there. So if that got effed up, I'm not really that concerned about it. My concern was like the axle or like the wheel mount itself. But I think I'm okay. They'll let me know tomorrow. So
thoughts and also prayers.
Dude, horrible. I'm going to go back to no car life.
Get your bike.
So speaking of all sports weekend, quite a weekend for you guys, kind of some downs and an up. Without going into details about TCU, about the Cowboys, about the Rangers, what's your mental state, fellas? How we doing?
Dude, I'm feeling great. I'm just kind of blinders on, enjoying the end of this baseball season. No other sports are on right now. It's just playoff baseball. That's it. That's all I have to worry about.
Brother, I'm riding high. We got good volleyball. An epic match yesterday, TCU and Texas Tech in soccer. Didn't come out the Frogs' way, but, those girls are playing good.
Hell yeah.
No, the Rangers have been fun to watch, man. They're mowing through these playoffs. So
it's because of Creed. Creed
I don't know how much time we're going to have to talk about other games around the Big 12, but my God, that the Red River Shootout was there's been some good ones. That's one of the best ones.
Yeah.
Best game of the weekend by far. Yeah. Best game of the weekend. That was just so much fun. I was actually looking forward to, all day games, right? We had Bama and A&M. Thought that would be a little bit more interesting. It was okay, but I don't think anything lived up to the hype after that 11 a.m. Red River Shootout. It was
y'all seeing
awesome.
This? I'm twisting this beer top.
Nothing is happening. You need a bottle opener.
So I thought Dos Equis were twist offs. Am I crazy?
Maybe they
And
changed it
Jacob's
up.
man card between this
Yeah.
tire situation and not
No
being
kidding.
able
What's
to
that
open a
supposed to
beer.
do about the tire?
Have a
Just
good
have such
hair.
soft and petite hands.
I'm about to use my finger to open the beer.
It's
So
those lotiony Dallas hands. So you got soft
all it
hands.
is.
I'd be fucking right. Jesus Christ. I gotta stop getting my daily manicures.
Oh,
MK, Kyle, whenever watching the Red River shootout, were you just enamored with the play calling from both sides offensively?
it was really impressive. It looked like it felt like a little bit, TCU last year, where you're like, this is going to be successful. You have confidence that whatever they're going to throw out there is going to be successful. Sark was a genius. I mean, and obviously Oklahoma did great too, but I feel like that was more Dylan Gabriel than it was necessarily the play calling and him pulling a bunch of crap out of his ass and just making stuff happen,
Did you like the tight
Mhm.
shots of Dylan Gabriel's bloodied finger just dripping blood all over the place?
Was that his throwing hand or was it the other one that got hit?
No, his other hand.
Yeah, still pretty awesome.
Very
Y'all
football
see,
guy, though.
Y'all see Dak hurt his finger yesterday too?
Oh,
did Dak hurt
man.
his
Yeah,
little
hold on.
pinky? He hurt his little finger.
Hold on. I don't really
Oh,
care about
Poor Dak. Oh,
I don't really
no.
care about that. But
He was trying to open a Bud Light.
for those of y'all who listen to the ticket, they do the fake Jerry Jones every Monday morning. And today they had him saying, did y'all see Dak? He hurt his middle finger. Well, not to worry, because I gave him mine.
Oh. Well, do we want to talk football and knock this out?
Let's keep it short.
All right. Frogs
Yeah.
traveled to Ames, best known for their nationally acclaimed hit, Hooray for Ames, to take on the Iowa State Cyclones. Frogs were favored by, maybe a touchdown or so right out the gate. I felt like it was a weird game. TCU's first two drives ended with an interception, followed by a failed fourth down conversion on the third drive. That led to a Cyclones touchdown. It just, the entire first half was weird. They go in down 10-7. But at this point, Ray and I had another date night, enjoying the game together. I think we both still had faith. What could possibly go wrong in the second half? But
So hold on, let me ask you a question. At this point, I think before halftime, TCU had turned it over on their first four possessions. Am I right?
I think they scored on their fourth, possibly, but they did have a punt blocked, which led to more points.
I seem to remember. I need to pull up
I have
the.
that saved. I have that saved somewhere.
Where's the? I'm going to pull up the drive, but I know they went interception, right? And then
Correct. Yep.
then it was what?
Jamie had tweeted out that breakdown of their last X amount of drives.
Yeah.
And it was just a comedy of errors. It made me laugh really, really hard.
Yeah. So
But
first two
off
interceptions.
memory-
They
Yeah,
gave on the third drive, they gave it up on downs at midfield, which led to more points.
That's what it was. Yes. So that's a turnover, right? There's no difference if you go for it on fourth down and you don't convert. What's the difference between that and fumbling?
There's no difference.
There's no difference.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So there was that, and then they had, I believe, the block kick, right?
Yeah.
But I think didn't Iowa State
was
like 10 points off those 4 turnovers?
Correct.
I'm looking at those last 18 drives, and I guess starting with this game, so Tuma's field goals were into West Virginia. Then we have INT, turnover on downs, so it's through 3 possessions.
Yeah.
Possession 4, touchdown. Then kick, then blocked kick, and then kick some more and kick some more.
Okay, so maybe I
your
was
point.
Intercepted
thinking
again.
To your
was
point, all 10
four
points
turnovers,
came
yeah.
off. All 10 points came off turnovers. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
why I stopped you there is because you said you and Ray were still optimistic. You should be. If you played that bad of execution football, and it's not like they were just getting killed on offense. They were moving the ball really well. They just kept shooting themselves in the foot.
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
So yeah, you should be optimistic at halftime. But damn, the wheels fell off.
Hilarious halftime show. A bunch of T-Rexes running out, blow up T-Rexes. That was pretty awesome. Nice little start to the second half until early in the third quarter. Chandler Morse goes down. We've got is a redshirt freshman. Is he a freshman? Josh Hoover taking over. TCU would not score again until 1 minute and 17 seconds left in the game. They lose embarrassing fashion, 27-14. Frogs end with 4 interceptions total. One of those was thrown by JP Richardson for whatever reason.
Jeez.
And
Okay.
then, so Jacob, go ahead and fill any major details on the game.
Yeah, so I want to just ask, did you guys stick with the entire game?
To the bitter end.
Yeah, we watched the whole thing.
For me, I bailed after the Josh Hoover interception. I said, this is comedy hour. And here's why. Here's why. Because
Fake fan, dude.
No.
Get off my pod.
Bleed out.
The reason I bailed is because I saw as a team, not everybody, but as a team, guys who had some things go against them and then decide not to play as even half as hard as they should have played. Not that they totally quit, but they definitely lost a lot of motivation to play that game. So I lost a lot of motivation to continue watching it.
I can't say I disagree with that. But since you stopped watching it, you may have missed, which again, this doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. I thought it was very interesting. Every time Josh Hoover came to the sideline, he had teammates coming up to him, whether he made a mistake or not, just kind of slapping him, giving him high fives, trying to, hit his helmet to say, hey, we got you, we got you. So it looked like the team was buying into him and saying, hey, we got your back. But then there was no execution on that.
It just, I tweeted out, because you hear this quote all the time, be the most excited team to play. So I tweeted that quote with a big red X next to it. Because even if you want to say like, okay, there was nothing wrong with TCU's effort, it didn't even come close to matching the effort those guys on the other side of the field. They were not.
Yeah.
TCU was not the most excited team to play.
Iowa State was very, very excited to play the other night. I mean, Jack Trice night game in Ames, they were definitely up. But I mean, to your point, I don't think it was a lack of our guys being energized. I think it's just back to what we've talked about now a couple times, and that is just execution.
Martin, do you think they were excited because of the uniforms they were wearing?
Iowa State or Ames College or whatever you want to call them. I mean, damn, dude, I can't believe we lost to a team that looks like they're not wearing pants.
Yeah, I like the tweets of someone tweeted a group shot of Iowa State players together and then blurred out around their crotches, so it really made it look like they were wearing no pants.
I mean, Iowa State was definitely more, I guess, proud of playing football on Saturday because, I mean, and something like that, yeah, for sure. Jack Trice, commemorating his sacrifice on the field, that's definitely something to get up for. But damn, I'm really surprised that pretty much everybody but Amani Bailey really looked like they want to play fucking football.
I did call out Amani Bailey for it. To me, he was our most energetic player, best player on the field for us. So the whole energy thing
reminded me of. I'll speak to this real quick. So a couple weeks ago, about a month ago, I interviewed Gracie Bryan from TCU Soccer. And they had just came off a really disappointing loss to Butler, a game they shouldn't have lost. And the offense was struggling. And when I talked to her, she said that you have to want to die for a goal, to go out there and die for that goal. And that they weren't doing that at the time. And, since that time, they rattled off 6 straight wins until Sunday. So you look at this TCU football team, especially those wide receivers, they're not wanting to die for that extra yard for the ball. I mean, a lot of like Dalen Wright, one hand up to try to make a catch. I mean, the effort is
it's not awful. Where it needs to be. And it wouldn't be as big of a talking point if it wasn't the 3rd time this year already.
Dude, for real. And, people like, does it go back to coaching? Like, which is it, right? Is it coaching? Are they not prepared, or are they just not wanting to receive that coaching?
I just don't know if coaching can really make you want to put in that, that extra gear,
So, you guys mentioned Amani Bailey, 21 carries for 152 yards, couple receptions as well. Was there anybody else on the team defensive wise, maybe, or anybody else that stood out as a positive?
Not that I remember.
I mean, they don't really throw it to Fig, so it's kind of hard to tell.
The defense was playing pretty well overall early on,
But
but to me, it just looked like when things started going wrong, they were like, "Well, I guess we're not going to win tonight. What's the point in trying in the second half?"
I think the drive after Chandler got hurt, they kind of just tapped out because that was what like a deep throw down the middle, and then they let the guy run in for a long touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a defender, how many times can you be put in a bad position before it catches up to you? Right? You're like, we're starting at the 40-yard line again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't
man.
think Griffin Kell missed a field goal this game.
Yeah, I don't think he had one. He had a couple extra points. So they rushed for over 200 yards on the day against TCU. It's got to be, I mean, outside of Colorado, they had been holding a lot of teams to under their rushing totals.
Colorado only rushed for like 50 yards.
Oh, that's right. It was all 500 passing.
They didn't really have any attempts, though.
Read that comment, MK.
Yeah. So Michael Lambert joins the chat. Thanks for being here, Micah. I was really thinking this team would have a huge chip on their shoulder this year. After 6 abysmal quarters of football, I don't think they can.
Yeah, it's starting to look that way, and I agree with him.
Yeah, it's shocking. I think all of us went into this year expecting that chip to be there. And,
yeah,
you're just looking at a team that they look pretty low energy right now.
They do. I mean, we've now lost 3 games in which you were heavily favored in all 3.
Mm-hmm.
And you have another one this week. Before I don't even know what to even make of the rest of the schedule at this point. You know, OU and Texas are going to be tough. You don't know what kind of team you're going to get up in Manhattan or in Lubbock. But right now, man, I mean, if we had to play Baylor this week, how confident would you feel? Pretty confident, but not as confident as we should feel, right?
Exactly.
Pretty confident that we would win, but not confident that we should blow them out like we should.
Exactly.
No,
so
more like
BYU
go in and win ugly. That type of deal.
Yeah.
We have BYU. We opened as 5-point favorites, I think.
I think it's like 3 now.
Yeah, I'm sure. But you had TCU fans pointing out that line saying, "What the hell is Vegas thinking?"
It's already moving towards BYU.
Yeah.
From the chat way earlier, Travis Fueling asked, "What has to happen from here on out for the season to end with less heartburn?" Then he finishes it with sweeping Baylor, Texas, and OU ? Keep it up, guys. I think Travis, that would actually turn kind of what we're feeling right now into probably the best possible success of a season you could come out with. But I don't see how that's possible to beat. If you took one of Texas and OU, you could count this season successful at this point. But
so we talked about it last week after losing to West Virginia. Does this now become a just beat your rivals season? You know?
Mm-hmm.
So if I told you right now that the only games we would win for the rest of the year are Kansas State, Baylor, and Texas Tech, would you take it? It gets you to bowl eligible.
I think that's the most reasonable outcome.
Yeah.
That
actually BYU good options.
Like the most practical, hey, this team could actually do that. I right now, based on that, I mean, I know that it was 2 good teams and sometimes you can't tell, but that Red River rival, like that shootout, the Frogs have in their current state have no chance against either one of those squads.
And we're not even really factoring in yet the quarterback situation, which I know we'll talk about more, but just on the surface. And Ray, you started to kind of shrug your shoulders at BYU, but are you really confident that they're going to beat BYU right now?
No, but I think BYU's a worse team than Kansas State.
Are they a worse team than Iowa State?
I know. The point is
Texas Tech.
No, Ray, the point is not quality of teams. It's those are your rivals.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're just going to win those games, you get 6 wins, you get a bowl, and you beat your rivals. You beat SMU, you beat K-State, you beat Baylor, you beat Texas Tech.
Sure, then let's have fun in the Armed Forces Bowl. Let's party at home.
Well,
Hey,
I
so
mean, how confident are you we're going to make a bowl right now?
not confident
Man.
at all.
not
few-
comfy.
Here's the
questions-
thing. I said this last week, and I'll say it again. I think TCU can beat anyone on their schedule. The change is I now think they can lose to anyone on their schedule.
Couple questions about Chandler in the chat. But real quick, Ray, can you comment on kind of what you heard about his injury today?
Yeah, so it's an MCL sprain, the same injury he had last year.
All right, so he's done.
No, not entirely.
Oh,
They'll say week to week. It'll probably be a month, but that month is a little generous because if it's a month, right at a month, is a short week at Texas Tech. I just don't see him playing on a short week. I think they'll give him the extra week. I would assume Texas would be your return date for Chandler Morris. If things go to plan.
Unless Josh is just slinging it.
That would be interesting. I don't know if we want to talk Josh Hoover right now. He looked pretty lost in that second half.
Yeah, I thought he looked okay. They let him uncork it. A couple of deep balls. You need your receiver to go make a play.
Hey, Inspector Peck, I think professionals get paid. So if you want to start paying me, I'll do whatever you want.
And he means whatever.
Yeah, for the audio only, there's a comment here that says, "Shut up, Jacob. Be professional." No idea what that's referring to or if he's even serious, but yeah, sure. Pay me. Start paying me. I'll be professional.
Do your job, Jacob.
So I feel like we can table the Chandler chat for now because he's going to be out for a while.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's worth it breaking down his game and kind of the lack of success he had. Whether
I can break it down. It wasn't good. There.
He was bad. Yeah.
So Hoover comes in. What do we know about Josh besides, not having much playing time so far?
The only thing I know about him is what I heard out of fall camp, which right now I can't trust a single word that I heard in fall. So
Yeah,
everything was rosy coming out of fall.
Yeah, they loved him in practice. They were talking him up like, "Oh man, he's so good. We got such a good backup."
It was so good he made that Oregon State kid quit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, imagine that kid, how he's feeling right now. Oh man.
So Jacob, I want to follow up on that comment about what we were hearing from fall camp. And the thing is, and I hear you and I agree with you. However, the people we were hearing that from aren't typically the TCU will win every game crowd.
No.
Or at least from my experience. I don't remember, other podcasts or whatever really going into details about, hey, TCU can win every game, buy your Sugar Bowl tickets or anything.
All right.
So when they said that and said 10-2 is the basement, I kind of took it to heart and I'm like, wow, there must be something really different about this team.
So yes, and in regards to that, yes, we heard great things from very reliable sources, but you got to keep in mind what they see is kind of only the individual drills, and what they were basing a lot of their own personal views on was the extreme amount of athleticism on the team, like athleticism that they've never seen from any TCU team in any year. Okay, now the other part that influences their predictions is what the coaches are telling them about what's going on behind closed doors. So when they're hearing positive things coming out of there, they're saying, okay, this mixed with what I see from, individual drills and whatnot, like 7-on-7 stuff. Yeah, this is going to be a really special team. So I think some of those sources are now saying, yeah, I'm going to have to take with a grain of salt what I hear from some of these coaches going forward.
Do you think that changed from the Patterson era to Sonny Dykes, where the amount of information given to those guys is a little bit different, or maybe more?
Well, yeah. So let me say this too. I don't think the coaches were purposely misleading, the guys on the inside. I think they're as dumbfounded as we are. I think the coaches are as dumbfounded as we are.
I think some of it was purposeful misleading.
You think so? Why?
I think, you remember way back early in the offseason, The Athletic did this rosy piece on Chandler Morris,
Okay.
really fluffing him up. You don't think that was on purpose?
Chandler's been really good up until this game. He was like second in the Big 12 in QBR. He had
He was
like the
not
most
good
passing.
against West Virginia.
At times he wasn't. At times he was. At times a lot of it wasn't even his fault. When he's running for his life at the snap, every single drop back.
Yeah, I mean, in that game, the offensive line was just non-existent. So I don't know how much of that you can put on a quarterback, let alone coaching decisions.
I think he's a perfect example of somebody that you could find. You could find stats that pump him up and make him look really good.
QBR is a pretty reliable one.
I'm just saying, but you can also look at specific plays or throws or whatever that, you're like, what is he thinking here?
Yeah, for sure. No doubt. That's going to be with any quarterback. Like, what did you watch Quinn Ewers in Dallas?
I mean, yeah. I mean, whenever you watch Chandler Morris with the eye, what does your eye tell you? Is your eye telling you you're getting elite quarterback play?
Never said anything about elite, but
you said second in the conference.
Well,
So
like, who's better than him? Would you take Will Howard over Chandler right now? He's stinking up the joint. Would you take anything from Oklahoma State, Baylor, West Virginia? Like, who are you taking over a healthy Chandler Morris?
Give me Jason Bean and let's ride.
Why does the offense suck so bad in the red zone?
Well, I thought Parker did a good explanation on that last week. Talking about how the field shortens up, the defenders, you can't get guys in space as easy. When you're not executing the plays to perfection and you're in those tight windows, things go awry.
One of my favorite comments, this was last week from a Baylor account that I follow. He summed it up nicely. He said, a KB offense can get you 30 yards when you don't need it, but can't get you 3 when you do.
Saw a lot of that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't necessarily know if we want to go into the, offensive coordinator chat by any means. I'm just, I think it's definitely a mix of some poor quarterback play, some questionable calls, the field tightening up, not having, the space.
And you need your receiver to make a freaking play.
Yeah.
Or Corey Wren, how about not stumble and trip over your own feet and catch a ball and walk into the end zone?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting comment from the chat. John Reenan says Chandler Morris is a great high school quarterback, but not college. That seems that might be accurate. I could see him slinging it, which he did.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still pretty high on Chandler. Obviously, it doesn't even matter now because he probably won't even play again this year. So,
who's the quarterback?
Somebody did ask. Does anybody have the Twitter questions up? Because I did one. Okay, read the one about going into next year.
Baxton Garza at Baxtog it's asked, with the Chandler injury, do we think Haas Haney will start next year as a true freshman, or do we find a transfer portal QB with experience?
You guys watched any Haas Haney?
Yes.
Motherfucker is elite. I know it's just high school, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That dude don't miss. That dude doesn't miss.
But he fits this offense to a T.
Yeah.
And
assuming it'll be the same offense next year.
It's going to be. There's no way.
I was half joking.
There's no way they're going to get rid of Bryles. But,
I went out and watched him. I went out and watched Haas. I watched about 3 quarters before we ended up leaving. But, I mean, you can just tell that dude is playing at a level of football he doesn't belong in right now.
Yeah.
Like, he could be playing college right now. Do you remember? Okay, so obviously I'm no, high school scout. But really good when you see really good. Do you remember when – all right, so we had Sean Robinson, 4-star. Yeah. Martin and I went and watched him in the state playoffs. Martin, what was our takeaway after watching Sean Robinson?
The other quarterback for Cedar Hill was better.
Sean Robinson would drop back to throw, miss his receiver twice, then on 3rd down, run it for 65 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah. But we literally left and we're like, damn, that Cedar Hill quarterback's better. And the
Yeah.
motherfucker went to Notre Dame and fucking moved to wide receiver.
Yeah, we walked out of that saying, I hope Meacham and those guys know what they're doing, because I'm not impressed with Sean Robinson at all.
Yeah.
The last time I watched the TCU commit play high school quarterback, he shredded every ligament in his leg on the first drive of the season.
Justin Rogers.
Justin Rogers.
Yeah,
So going back to the question, which we never answered.
Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to start off.
Does Haas Haney have a chance to start? Of course he does. Based on based on their current quarterback room. Now, I think it would be a huge disservice for them not to look for a transfer quarterback as well.
Yeah,
I
think Haas is going to be he's going to start the most games next year, and it's going to be because of Kendall Briles.
Yeah, because that's like his first recruit.
Yeah, he already ran off Davila.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really excited for Haas. I hate this for Chandler, though, man. The kid can't catch a break. By all accounts, he's a really, really good dude. He went through a lot last year. You know, we've talked about it endlessly on the pod, and he gets hurt again. It sucks.
Some people are just snake bitten.
Yeah, I'm surprised he survived that leaky offensive line, and it was another like soft tissue injury.
They did change it up this week. They moved Coleman back out to left tackle, moved Coker over to right tackle.
Which is probably how it should have been to start that's what we thought it was going to be.
Willis Patrick was right guard, and then they rotated left guard.
Did that make a difference compared to WVU?
They moved the ball really well. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
They moved.
Well, they were really good. You're saying that's way more in line with how it looked like on the depth chart going into the season. That's much more like what we were expecting to see.
This game, they were able to run the ball really well. You're able to get Amani to the second level at least.
It looked better than West Virginia, where guys were just camping out in the backfield all game.
Exactly. Hey, MK, let's rapid fire some Twitter questions if we have them, and then let's save time for baseball.
Yeah, I think we should actually transition to baseball right now. Some of the questions we can kind of work in throughout because they're actually about that.
Okay, go for it.
But Jacob, real quick, I don't know if you want to break down our sponsor, Hell's Half Acre.
Oh shoot, yeah. Well, no, I guess I should, but I didn't get to do a sneaky ad read.
No problem.
Yeah, we'll just do a straightforward one. So yeah.
Hey Jacob, this weekend's homecoming. You need a fresh fit for homecoming.
Fit, yeah, for BYU. Yeah, if you're fired up for BYU and you need a fresh outfit, go to Hell's Half Acre SG. That stands for Hell's Half Acre Stadium Goods. Go check out. They have new arrivals all the time. It seems like every week when we do the pod, I'll just pull up the website. Boom, another line of new arrivals. Got some really cool stuff on there. Steven's a great dude. Go support his business. Pick up a case of Hell's Half Lager as well. Proceeds from that go to the Flying Tea Club, which is the NIL collective. So yeah, go support our good friends at Hell's Half Acre Stadium Goods.
If you're embarrassed to wear a football shirt this weekend, there's a Pinstripe Diamond Frogs T-shirt that's half off. It's at $17. I think that's a steal. So
there you go.
All right,
Yeah.
thanks,
Get
Hell's
you
Half
one
Acre.
of those sharp polos and a 6-pack of Hell's Half Lager. You can bag you a cougar.
Okay, so sponsorship aside, Hell's Half Lager is delicious.
It really is.
It's
It's so
like,
good.
It is objectively good beer.
Before we get to baseball, I want to show you guys my new theory for our new quarterback.
Yeah. Slowly start to begin to describe this new theory of yours.
Sure. So I have this working theory I came up with a few years ago with some buddies. We call it the swag theorem. So basically, the swag theorem is a scale that denotes the level of your player swag versus a level of your football skill / proficiency. And the idea is you want your swag level to be in line with your football proficiency level. So you don't want to have too much swag, because you have too much swag and not enough talent, you're going to be in a bad way. But also, if you have a whole bunch of talent but not enough swag, it has the exact same effect for a quarterback.
You're in the Max Duggan zone.
So or like a college Brock Purdy. All the football talent apparently, zero swag.
Okay, so
where does
Max
Shadur
Duggan-
Sanders fit into
So Max
this?
Duggan, obviously a very, very talented and productive quarterback. He was second in the Heisman, but dude had like almost zero swag. So where does he fit?
I don't agree with that. I think
Okay.
Chandler last year he had some
Max.
swag to him.
Max, right?
To your question, Shedeur Sanders would be somewhere in the very, very top right of this graph. So he has high-end football proficiency.
Okay, so
and he has high swag.
Yeah. All right. So on the let's see, what do you see? So on the x-axis is your quarterback talent, right?
Yes, this
And then
line
on the
across the middle,
y-axis-
that's all that middle line is separating quality versus stinky. So that's
Okay.
all that is. So that's telling me what this graph is telling me through my data and my analytics is that Josh is sitting up here with a high level of swag, which we've seen, but he also is pretty proficient at football. So he's on the plus end of the swag theory. Now the downside right there on the backside is the stinky area. And that stinky area is an example of maybe you have a lot of swag, but your football proficiency is a little too low.
So you said Shedeur would be up in the very top right quadrant, lots of swag, lots of skill.
Lots of swag, lots of skill, and they correlate together really, really well.
Where would you put Caleb Williams then? Obviously at the top of quarterback play level, but does Caleb Williams have swag?
I don't. So that's a good question because I think maybe he thinks he has so much swag that he actually doesn't have any swag at all.
I would like to see you take your graph and then like plot different quarterbacks. You know, pick like 15 quarterbacks and plot them on this graph.
I really like that. He thinks he has so much swag that he actually doesn't have any swag at all. I think
that's very well put.
That would put him. So that would put him if you go where Josh currently is, directly down
lower
from
right.
him, lower right, which would be considered a stinky zone.
How much does the Wendy's commercial take away from Caleb Williams' swag?
I think it takes away more from the other guy. Who's the other guy who is on there? Leinart?
Matt Leinart?
Yeah. It takes away so much from his swag.
And that's all he was at USC.
He comes out as such a punk on them commercials, and they bow down to Caleb. I think it takes away more from Leinart's swag.
That's good stuff, Gary. Yeah, let's follow up with plotting some examples on that.
Okay, I'll get back in the lab and really fine tune my algorithms.
Hayden Maxwell chimes in. Jacob, people can have swag while not acting like 24-karat douchebags. Don't go dissing Mad Max.
All right.
Hell yeah, Hayden.
Look, yeah, I might lose this argument. That's fine, but I don't know. Max, he's funny to me. I love him. But you saw what he wore at like the Heisman weekend. And
well, did you see him this weekend?
In the same exact outfit.
He was looking so fresh on the sideline.
I bet he's had that jacket since high school.
He's just the common Midwesterner. That's a dude from Iowa right there.
No, that was a really good. Who was that? Hayden? That was really funny. I'll take the L.
Let's jump into what everyone came here for, which is for us to sunshine pump y'all with frog ball content. So on Friday, there was a little inter squad scrimmage. Martin and Ray, I know you guys were there to attend and kind of watch. Peyton Tolley, our new transfer from Wichita State, went yard twice.
On Sunday.
That was on Sunday.
Oh, that was on Sunday.
So we have a pitching problem.
Curtis Byrne also went yard, so you're correct, Jacob. And we've got a new batter's eye, already paying dividends for those hitters. So, guys, Martin and Ray, what would y'all see from the Frogs?
Martin, go.
Let's see. Tolley is a beast. Have you seen that guy on the field? He looks like a defensive end playing baseball.
Yeah, Martin, what did you tell him when he was in the on-deck circle?
Has he been offered a spot on the football team to play defensive end?
They could use him.
he likes to win.
He just likes hitting dingers.
He looks like
Yeah.
a hoss out there, though, man.
Yeah, dude, he's good. So he hit a double. He was the first guy to hit a extra base hit on Friday. Who else looked good? Brunson looked good. The guy who committed late out of California.
Yep. He was committed to Loyola Marymount. Then they fired their coaching staff, and he decommitted. He was drafted by the Blue Jays in the 18th round.
Yep.
Didn't sign, obviously, and committed to TCU.
Yeah, he's a guy to watch out for to play center field.
Yeah, he's been playing a lot of center field. Luke Boyers has been playing a lot of right.
Yeah, I think the guys that they are looking at to play outfield is Jack Arthur, the transfer from Weatherford. He committed to Texas out of high school, and then he went to JUCO, and then now he's on TCU. Obviously, Logan Maxwell, Luke Boyers. Y'all know Luke Boyers and Luke Maxwell. And then the other guy to watch for is Chase Brunson. He hit a double pretty much off the wall in left center. Silva had a double off the wall that was like a foot away from being a home run.
Freshman Cameron SOS went yard.
Cademan
I thought it was Cameron.
Did you guys already talk about the
or
potential
Cameron.
infield?
Infield, I think, is pretty locked.
Because Jamie has a hypothetical lineup that he posted in Horton Frog Blitz.
Okay.
So he has Jack Basier leading off playing third, Anthony Silva batting second, hitting short, Peyton Tolley DH, Jack Arthur in right hitting fourth, Carson Bowen behind the plate hitting fifth, Peyton Chatagnier second base hitting sixth, and then Logan Maxwell and Luke Boyers in left and center respectively, like you said. And then hitting ninth is either Gabe Miranda or Zach Wattis playing first base.
Yes.
Ooh,
So what do you think?
Awesome.
Curtis Byrne played some first base on Sunday.
He has a note in here. Curtis Burns spot start midweeks, DH. So kind of backup catcher, DH. When Tolley pitches, that kind of deal. So do you agree with that for the most part, based on what you saw or what you think?
For the most part, as it stands right now, I think it's mostly correct. Yes. I think this year is going to be interesting as far as, usually in the past we have we talk about guys before the season and we're like, oh, we might see this guy split time at this position or this guy split time at this position. But then we end up with, player X has 60 starts at whatever position and it pretty much just goes down, down the board with the same guys starting every day at the same position. I think this year is going to be a little different. I think we are going to actually see more position flexibility because of a guy like Curtis Byrne, who is going to be able to catch, play first, and DH.
Yeah.
I do think that we do have position battles at first and second. I think second is pretty much locked up by Chatagnier just because he's a fifth-year guy, and it would kind of be a bad look for a grad transfer to transfer into TCU and not be the starter for most of the year.
Or at least in the beginning, right?
Right.
I mean, if he doesn't perform at all, then you could see a switch and it not look bad. But
especially if he gets beat out by a freshman.
Another shout out to the fans, the people that are joining us live here on YouTube, getting some good comments. Hayden is worried about the outfield defense. I don't know if I agree. I think Luke Boyers is a pretty solid defensive outfielder. We'll see how he does in center. I don't have any problem with Logan Maxwell in left, and left is kind of your lowest, I guess,
IQ.
leveraged. Yeah, lowest leveraged position in the outfield defensively.
I will say
don't
with
know anything about Jack Arthur and Wright, but
I will say with Logan, you just got to keep him healthy. He will get a soft tissue injury on you quick.
Yep.
Speaking of injuries, Carson Bowen had shoulder surgery a couple of weeks ago.
Hopefully scheduled and expected.
Yeah. You won't see him this fall. Nothing major, right?
I mean, he'll be ready when the season starts.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
just won't play fall ball. A person that won't play at all next year. Our good friend Cohen Feaster had Tommy John.
Dang, really?
Yeah.
Was
And
that a
he's gonna-
surprise? Something that happened maybe in the summer? Do we know?
That just happened a couple of weeks ago.
Boy, he was pretty reliable out of the pen.
It was a surprise.
That sucks, man. Well, get well soon.
Sticking with pitching, Travis asks if Toley's going to continue to pitch like he did at Wichita State.
Did you guys see him on the mound?
No, he
Not
pitched
on
on
Friday.
Sunday.
Yeah, and he gave up a bomb to Curtis Byrne. But, yeah, we didn't see him on the mound Friday. I think it's pretty funny that he hit 2 home runs on Sunday, and then he gave up a bomb to Curtis Byrne.
Hey, net success. Jamie has the rotation as Cole Klecker, Ben Hampton, and then either Peyton Toley or Kyle Ayers on Sunday with Luis Rodriguez as your Tuesday guy.
And that
So-
answers our friend Jackson Day Jr. On Twitter. He asked a question about number 1, Toley, 2, about the rotation, which you just answered, Jacob, as well as, is the outfield podcast studio complete or still under construction?
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. So, how's the batter's eye look? And another question: did you guys even notice we never had a batter's eye and even think about it?
It did last year because of all the dead bushes. I mean, they were really dead last year. I know.
Yeah,
they
I just
died
never
off.
crossed my mind that we never had a batter's eye. Like, I never even thought about that.
We had more of a natural batter's eye.
A
Yeah.
natty eye.
Those bushes were bigger and greener before the freeze of 2022. I mean, it makes sense why they would make a batter's eye this year. I don't know if they're planning to keep that going forward.
Yeah. Oh, it's there to stay.
That sucks.
It's not bad. It'll give you a different broadcast angle too, a more true center field broadcast angle. You're not way off to the side.
Who watches games on TV?
Yeah, what do
Sorry,
I
you know
care?
what I
I'm
mean?
at the fucking game.
Well, when Jacob's feeling sweepy, and you're not at every game, Martin.
Yeah,
I'm
Martin.
at, like 75% of the games.
Yeah, Martin does a good job. He doesn't come to football games, but
No, I don't go to football games, and especially last year was a anomaly, and that's why I went to the most football games I've ever been to in my entire life in 1 year.
because we were on the Natty run.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why we're not winning this year. Martin's not there.
Martin
supporting his
requires-
frogs.
Martin requires a national championship appearance for him to show up in person.
to home games. I'll go to road games,
Yeah.
but I fucking hate the batter's eye.
What
Not bad.
does it just? It looks like it kind of sticks out.
Like, is it like aesthetically not pleasing to you? Like, is that the issue with it?
That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's
they
just
could put some
weird
bushes
because
in the front of it, some new ones.
It's just weird because it's new, right? It has never been there.
I
Yeah.
didn't
Not used
really
to it.
like like the pictures and stuff that I saw. It just it takes so much of your attention. Like it draws your eyes in.
After
a
one series, we'll
we're
all
gonna-
be used to it.
Yeah, you're
Exactly.
probably
Isn't
right,
that what
but-
a batter's eye is supposed to do? Draw your eye in?
I thought it was no. It's actually
No.
So, our friend Adam at TCU Lotus Leaves asks, "Are you guys looking forward to BYU messing up the weekend recap because they don't play on Sundays?"
You know what he's talking about, right?
Yeah,
Baseball.
When we yes,
We say Thursday,
but-
Friday, Saturday.
yes. We talk about the Friday game, but we really mean the Thursday game.
yeah.
Oh,
I think we got better this season, right? I mean, the first year we were doing this podcast, that just messed us up so bad. It was Thursday, it was like Friday game, Saturday game, and we were getting the days wrong all the time.
Did
we were-
learn a juicy nugget. While the schedule hasn't been released yet, you're hearing bits and pieces.
Here
We
we
do
go.
have a fun weekend series with UCLA on the schedule.
Home or away?
Home.
Okay, then that is fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, Jay Johnson. We were joking. Jay Johnson will be in attendance to watch all his baby Cubs pitch for UCLA before they transfer to LSU.
Awesome. That'd be a great series this year. When do
That
we
joke
expect,
went over a lot better in front of the 5 people in Lupton on
when
Friday.
do we expect the schedule to be out, Ray?
November 2nd.
There you go.
I was clicking around on Horned Frog Blitz, and you can filter to where you only see staff comments because that's pretty much the only meaningful thing that I read in there. And so I clicked on the staff button, and I was just scrolling through. It's all Jamie on this baseball thread. And he was quote tweeting, I guess, somebody else's message that said, Chase Burns is in the portal. And he said, yes, he is. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck? He's in the portal already? And then I realized I was way back in like June on the dates. I thought I was about to break some serious news.
There's always a chance, Jacob. You just got to get him qualified for Econ 203.
Hey, they've added some transfers like recently. They added this kid, Preston Gamster, JUCO shortstop.
Tim Reynolds, catcher.
I think that Gamster guy's for next year.
It says he's a
because he's not on the fall roster.
okay, maybe so. It just says Frogs added Paris JUCO shortstop. That tells me when they say added, that tells me like to this team, not got a commitment.
I mean, it's possible, but I think he's just, if he does play on this team, I think he's just a backup shortstop.
We'll button this up before our preview shows.
Oh, sure. We're just scatter shooting right now.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, guys, like Jamie has so many good notes on here. This is from the scrimmage. He has like 15 observations. I'll just read a couple just for fun at random. Because this is my first time seeing this. Hampton has really good control, but not overwhelming stuff. Fastball sits high 80s.
His off-speed stuff was pretty good, in my opinion.
Yeah, he had a guy on second, and he threw it in the outfield. So
I think what he means is his fastball is not overwhelming because his next sentence is that fastball sits at high 80s.
It never has. It never has been.
Never has been. But when he got that runner to third base, he really shut it down. I think it was with less than 2 outs, and he really shut it down. And I think he struck out. He struck out the next guy, and then I think he got the next guy to pop up.
Was this from when you guys totally hit a double off Ben Abelt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who Ben Abelt changed his number, rocking number 12 this year.
Cameron Sos hit a home run. Did y'all mention that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Opportunities.
There's a lot of good stuff on here.
Couple opportunities to see the Frogs. One of them's at home coming up on the 21st. They travel to Texas State. They'll take on the Bobcats at 11 a.m. Kind of a odd time, but I guess it's a Saturday, so that's all right. And then
boys' weekend road trip.
Oh, sounds fun. October 28th.
That's a bye week.
Let's rent an RV.
October 28th. Frogs host Sam Houston at noon. So hopefully that doesn't conflict with any games going on. We don't have the time of the 28th yet. I think the 21st is against. That was just announced today. That was Kansas State. That's a night game, so that'll be good.
Yeah. Oh no, the bye week's during the home Lupton when they're here. That's
it is. Perfect.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's bye week. They also do a bunch of inter-squad scrimmages between then. They'll do one at least every Friday and Sunday. And depending on what football's doing, they may do one on Saturday too.
Are all those open to the public?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right.
And then Purple White is the first week of November.
Sweet.
All right. Before we get out of here, what else we got?
I think I'm good. Pretty efficient little episode. We get out of here in under an hour.
Potted on Monday night to avoid the Rangers tomorrow, so let's do it.
Thanks everybody for joining us live. This is a record number turnout, and that's pretty good for last minute announcement.
Really appreciate the questions. It definitely makes it more fun for us.
Here we go. One last question or one last comment from the crowd from Micah Lambert.
Can Dykes do something like Sarlos and make them wear practice attire for game? Maybe pants.
Just put some like Russell Athletic Funky Town jerseys.
Do you guys buy into the need to ban the chrome metallic frog helmet?
No.
No,
No, it's a good looking hat. Keep it.
I don't know if I really like it very much.
You just don't like it because
Personally.
they're not playing
No,
well. when
I
they
just
wear
don't
it.
think. I just don't think it's a very good looking helmet.
It's not bad. I like it better than the purple chrome.
A neutral observer of the game said you can't even tell what it is.
Okay, well,
Like if you don't know,
Tiffany's been
It
watching
wasn't
bad
Tiffany.
football uniforms.
Tiffany's not neutral observer. She's seen that helmet a million times.
Okay, boys, it's homecoming weekend. We got the BYU Cougs coming in town. Here's to a great weekend of college football. The weather will be fine. The beers will be flowing. Every weekend, every home game, Garrett and I are in lot 14 if anyone wants to swing by for a beer. Say hi. So,
Hey, if anybody, I can't go to the game this week.
are you trying to sell your tickets?
Again.
I am trying to sell my ticket, but the reason is because a very close friend of mine is getting engaged and my presence is required.
How are you going to get there with no tire?
I'll have it back tomorrow. I'll have it back tomorrow. But yeah, if anybody wants to buy my ticket at cost, I got one.
All right.
Actually, I owe MK one. If MK wants it, I'll give it to him for free.
All right. I might take it for my third kid. So,
Hey,
all right, guys.
Please enjoy the weekend and go soak a little before BYU comes to town.
No precipitation, Ray.
I'm out of here.
I think we're all right.
See y'all.
Go Frogs. See y'all.
Go Frogs.